Sisters, we've all turned up the radio to hear Brother Jimmy Lakey, from coast to coast and shore to shore. Now raise your voice. Oh, let us all Jimmy Lakey, get out of bed. Jimmy Lakey, raise your voice. Jimmy Lakey, Lakey, hey, can't live without it with Jimmy Lakey. Jimmy Lakey.
All right, top of the morning to everybody. How are you? It's morning for you. It's afternoon for me. If this show seems a little harrowed or rushed or whatever the word is, if you're in the mountain time zone, I'm 9 hours away from you. So it's 5 o'clock in the evening. I literally rolled into my hotel, a new hotel checking into today in Rwanda, which is in Africa, if you didn't pass your geography class. I literally changed up hotels, trying to get a new one, and literally, we just set up the feed just a moment ago. So just trying to get the right angle. We got the guests lined up. But anyway, glad to have all of you here. Been a week since we've been on together. Jimmy Lakey representing myself and Rivers Promise right there on the hat. See the hats? See the sweat stains? I literally just came in from our school, Legacy Christian Academy, and saw the kids this week for the first time, and a fantastic trip already. And my hat is still sweaty. I am still sweaty. If you wanted to smell me, you don't want to smell me. We are so fresh in setting up in this hotel room. I didn't even have an outside. Outside is a view of the city. I'll see if I can move it. And we didn't even have a chance to try to get connection out there. So I just literally plopped down in the hotel room and said, "Producer Chad, I'm running late." But we got started as quick as we could. It's so fresh and so new that I just got here. Not only is my hat, you see the hat stains? See, that's sweat from today working at the school. But the bottled water from my hotel is still on there. The label is on there. It says, "Stay hydrated." So anyway, glad to have all of you here. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you missed me last week. I hope all of you had a glorious Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. I'll tell you what I did for Thanksgiving. I was in an airplane. I flew out Tuesday to visit my mother in the Dallas area, and then Wednesday I caught a flight to Brussels, Dallas to Chicago, Chicago to Brussels. United Airlines sucks, and I hope they listen to the show because they really do suck. Their whole entire staff at O'Hare is incompetent. They blamed it on air traffic control, but there was nothing competency. We didn't get out of O'Hare until 2 hours late. And getting out of O'Hare, I only had an hour and a half connection to catch my flight for Brussels, and that's just how you book it unless you'll stay all night. So anyway, stranded in Brussels, ended up having to leave the Brussels airport, get a hotel room, which is not a problem, except you don't want to start at Brussels airport. It's chaos as well. It's run by a bunch of monkeys screwing a football. That's what it is, and it's bad of a. You think Denver is made for bottlenecks? The Brussels airport is made for absolute bottlenecks. So I had to leave the airport. It's Thanksgiving night now. Is it Thanksgiving night? Yes, it's Thanksgiving night in America, and I'm in Brussels, and obviously Thanksgiving is an American holiday. And so I'm finding a place to go. I find a cigar shop. I know that shocks many of you. And I hung out there and made some new friends there. Conversations always happen in Cigar World. And got back to the hotel, but I wasn't dressed properly. In Britain, we're very casual in Colorado. America is very casual. Britain, Europe, a lot of those places are more formal. Not formal like suit and tie, but at least have a shirt with a collar, at least have some proper shoes besides sneakers or tennis shoes. And all of my stuff that was like that, I took a backup bag that was coming to Rwanda in case we had any government meetings, but that wasn't with me in my carry-on. And so I was stuck. Couldn't go to a fine restaurant, none of that, and it was just a mess. So finally, I got back to the hotel room on Thanksgiving night in Rwanda, which means in Brussels, and you guys were probably just waking up, enjoying the things. And I went to the hotel restaurant there and looked at the menu, and they had a lot of pasta and a lot of Indian dishes, and they had fish and chips. And of all that, I thought fish and chips sounded the most like turkey. So I had turkey and fish and chips. I had fish and chips for Thanksgiving. So hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Caught the plane the next morning, made it to Rwanda. A couple of other business items happening here. Then today, obviously, the kids are in school on the weekend, so we went out to see the school. And again, the hat stains still there. My hat is still wet from sweating. We were booking it back into the city from Legacy Christian Academy. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. A lot of you have sent gifts and donations. for this trip to make sure the kids are taken care of for Christmas and keep those coming. Riverspromise.org, 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 make a donation. I understand, and I always pray, dear precious Jesus, whenever it's time for me to go to Rwanda, make sure that that's the cold time in Colorado. And sure enough, the first snow of the season hit while I was gone, and I'm thankful for that because I am too old to put up with the crap of Colorado weather. And sometimes thinking, why do I still live there? Because the crappy Colorado weather in the wintertime. I'm not a big fan. So it worked out well. Hopefully my next trip to Rwanda will be the next snowstorm in Colorado. But everybody, how's everybody doing? Everybody's good? Tell me where you're listening at. If I'm in Rwanda, you've got to be all over the country. I'd love to hear from all of you. Texas checking in. East Texas checking in. There's Arkansas says they're very chilly, and happy Monday. Happy Monday for you as well. Appreciate it. Let us know whatever platform you're on listening to. We appreciate it. Let us know if you're listening later in the day. Sorry you can't participate live, but you guys are out of the habit of commenting. I want to just free educate you. Type a little comment on the screen, and you will absolutely let us hear from you and let us know where you're listening to the program from. By the way, if you're on the Twitter machine and other platforms, you can also share this show live, so you can share what you're actually watching right now, and that lets other people find the Lakey Unleashed podcast. A little unique broadcasting live from Rwanda rather than the Lakey Entertainment Towers, and for that I say you're welcome. Scott says checking in at 5 Fahrenheit. Is that true? Yeah, I'm not coming back. I am not coming back later this week. The weekend I'm supposed to come back. And if it's still that cold, I'm staying here. I'm just going to move here and F all of you in a very loving way. And I mean, forget all of you. Don't think that F word meant anything except forget. Ray says a very chilly and rainy Oregon. Good morning, Ray. Good morning from you. What you say? What's the weather like today? It's humid. Rwanda is a tropical rainforest, so it always has a little mugginess to the air. It can get cool at night, but I would guess today was probably 70, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe pushing 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's cloudy and overcast all day. And if you looked out a second ago when I showed that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's still cloudy and overcast skies at 9 minutes after 5 o'clock in the p.m. here. All right, let me go through the guest list. I'm going to show you some video from the school today that I shot again. I literally sat down, said hi to producer Chad, found the angle. Within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we're logging on doing the show live. So a little bit discombobulated, but that's all right. We're glad to have you here. Jeff says it's cold in Fort Collins, a light dusting of snow. Again, if that crap keeps up, I'm not coming back. I'm just warning all of you. That crap keeps up, I'm not coming back. I need to be over with and done because I'm sick of it. I'm just going to be honest. I'm jet lagged. I'm tired. I don't want to put up with that kind of crap. Scott says temperature is always what I loved about trips to Rwanda this time of year. It's always really the two seasons of Rwanda are rainy season and not rainy season. That's what you get in Rwanda. You're going to get rain or not rain. And if it gets down to 70 degrees, the local folks are wearing coats. They look like they're going through a blizzard. They really do. I'm still sweating. See my hands here? I'm sweating from being out just at the school and doing the things we do with the kids. And I haven't had a chance to clean up after I literally slid into this chair and sat down to broadcast. But the Africans are like, man, it's a little chilly, isn't it? They hate using air conditioners in the car. And so we have the windows down. And I have my window down. I'm hanging out like a dog trying to get some air, take my hat off to get some fresh, drying air on my head. And they're rolled the windows up. They would sit in there with none. So they're used to it. I'm not. Highway Living says, good morning, Jimmy. Good morning to you. I appreciate you. Let's is on the program coming up. We're going to talk about this terrorist attack of National Guard members and how the heck we ended up letting these terrorists into our country. Thank you, Joe Biden. We'll talk about that. Gloria Giorno is going to join us on the program. So we've been following this national story that was happening last week about this special election happening in Tennessee. And there's speculation that some crazy radical Democrat might win that election. We'll check in with Gloria Giorno, who's written a great book, other things to talk about, but she's in Tennessee. And we'll check in with Gloria here in just a bit. And also, who else we have? Oh, Dr. Carol Lieberman, the terrorist therapist. I know she has a lot to say about these Afghanistan terrorists that have been let into our country and what we should do about it. And when did they get radicalized? Were they not screened properly? We'll talk to Dr. Carol Lieberman about that here in just a moment. If I may, while we wait for our next first guest of the morning to arrive, that should be happening momentarily, I'd like to show you a couple of songs that the kids sang. They always like to sing for you when you arrive at the Legacy Christian Academy. If any of you show up there, they'll show. Now, the building you'll see behind us is supposed to be our first kindergarten through third grade classrooms, and there's supposed to be 2 classrooms of each grade level. But because we haven't yet begun the rest of the campus, we pretty much have one class of each grade level, except third grade. We ended up with 2 third grade class. P3s is what they call our primary 3 classes. The kids like to sing, and as a matter of fact, we're working on some video now of a special presentation that 5th graders had for me today, which I thought was powerful. I hope we can capture it on the video. My friend Israel, who works here on the ground with us, is working on a first patch of that, and what he doesn't get right, I'll send off to producer Chad. And I also have the words. Evidently, we have an alma mater now. At Legacy Christian Academy, there's a school song. The kids sing it. And again, I thought it was the longest school song ever, but it turns out they were just repeating it over and over again until I clapped. So I should have clapped like 5 minutes before, because I thought the song was still going on. And they were singing in English, and just sometimes their English is broken because they're just learning English. So, all right, let's play this video. They're singing to me Christian songs. Each of the classrooms, the nursery classroom, which is kindergarten, P1, P2, P3, P4, they all wanted to sing songs. And for those of you that sponsor a kid, maybe you see your sponsored kid here, but this is what they do. They love to sing songs, and it's called Legacy Christian Academy for a reason. They learn about Jesus. They learn about the Christian message. And so here's video 1 I will show you today of Legacy Christian Academy. I was on the ground there literally 2 hours ago. I was there and zipped into the hotel here didn't even get an outside place to set up. We should have a cooler background, but I'm still like in sweaty clothes because I barely made the show on time. Let's play this. Let's see if you recognize the song. You'll hear the English. Listen closely. This is the time to turn up your speakers, and I think you will hear the message of the song the kids are singing. Oh my God, wow.
Clap for a P2 class.
The second graders, they wanted to sing the song about God's love, so high you can't get over it, so low you can't get under it, and that's the miraculous part of God's love. So that's what they learned at Legacy Christian Academy. Let me show you one. By the way, if you're a pagan out there, you're probably rabid right now. They were teaching kids about Jesus. Sorry, tough tacos, Tootsie. But Legacy Christian Academy. We'll play one more. I'll play these later again. But listen to the message. This is the kids. This is them singing songs to me. I think this is more the entire couple of hundred kids here. Watch this. Beautiful. Making melody in my heart. Making melody for the King of Kings. Rwanda Day. I'll play more of that in a second, but that's again literally just recorded those a couple of hours ago. No edits, just dropped them onto the program because I'm still in the sweaty hat. That's how barely close we made the show. Legacy Christian Academy, as you donate, that's what you're helping out to do. Help us build that school. Sponsor one of those kids. All those kids are not sponsored. Some of them are. Some of you may have your sponsored kids there. But you can sponsor kids at Legacy Christian Academy at Rivers Promise, $65 a month, and that's the kind of we teach them that. We teach them reading, writing, arithmetic. They are told they have to speak English at school to learn it, and so they're learning English, and that's a powerful tool in a country like Rwanda. So they love learning the English. All right, let's get away from that. We'll come back to that in a second. Got a lot of stuff to show, and I'll play more of those videos if you like them. But I want to welcome into the program Michael Letts. I'm in Rwanda. It's a long ways from the beautiful Carolina state where he is at. Michael Letts, investusa.org. Michael, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's a real privilege to be able to hear those kids sing. What a blessing. Thank you for what you're doing.
It's fantastic. I sit there and go, ooh, I'm not even worthy to be here. No matter what I do here, I get all these kids, and I'm like the guy that started the school. And I'm disturbing all the teachers today, and the teachers are like wanting to get back to teaching. And I walked up to the teacher, my director. I said, you know what? I'd fire the guy that runs this school if it were me, because this guy's disrupting the whole program. But, yeah, they're not going to fire me. I bring all the money, so it's all right. So I told him
They
I'd
love
fire
you for it.
him.
Jim, if it hadn't been for your vision, they would have had no hope. You've instilled hope, and that's what we need in this world, not just in America. We need it across the world today.
Absolutely, and those people. I get it. Some people give to law enforcement causes. Some people give to veteran causes. Some people give to pet causes. I totally get that. I always say just be generous, but don't ever say I'm not going to give to that cause because that's overseas. Because if you're Christian, the gospel message was go to all the world, and that's what I'm doing. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, then that's not your cup of tea. But don't say you won't give because it's far away. You should give because it's far away. But yeah, if your causes are veterans or something, just be generous. That's all I ask you to do. All right, Michael, I was traveling and we find out 2 National Guard members get shot and end up, one of them dead from these terrorists. What do we know? Did we grow them here at home? Were they radicalized when they got here? Should they have been caught in the screening? What happened?
Well, let's put the blame where it needs to go, Jim, and let's go back a little bit in history. As you know, of course, we did the invasion in Afghanistan, tried to we removed the Taliban. Then the President Trump decided that we don't need to be a military presence forever over there. We're going to withdraw. And I understand what the president's position was when he was president. This is during his first term. We were going to withdraw. We were going to keep Bagram Air Base and roughly about 5,000 troops there. And we had made a deal with the Taliban. Look, you don't mess with American assets. That's American troops or people that assisted them. If you do, we know where your houses are. We will come back out of our shadows and we will destroy whatever's left of you. They understood that loud and clear. Then the president left office. Joe Biden came in and sent him a different message. We just want to get out of there now. We don't even care about our own American citizens there. We're just going to get our troops out immediately. Sent a whole different message. When they sent that message, the assets, and what are we talking about with assets? That's our Afghanis who assisted us while we were there. We forgot about them. Heck, we left our own citizens there behind, etc. And so, to make it matters worse, the Biden administration turned over the list to the Taliban of who the assets were. So they knew who to go after and kill. Remember, they had one purpose in mind. You helped Americans, you're dead. And so they begin to say, gee, I guess that's probably not a really great thing, not a good image thing. Maybe we ought to do something. Let's create a program and let the assets come over here. Okay, fine. Did you vet the assets? Do you know that those are the people who helped? Well, gee, no, we were just in a hurry. Just, hey, if you said I helped Jimmy, jump on the plane. We'll vet you later. So that's what they did. They sent them all over here from Afghanistan. Now, this was a CIA program. This is why I'm so teed off with the CIA for a lot of reasons, but this is one of them. It was their responsibility to vet them before or vet them afterwards. They did neither. So now you've got all these Afghans over here. Some of them were assets, some of them were not. In this particular incident, this particular individual evidently did do some asset work, but he hated America. And he hated what we stood for. He probably played both sides while he was over there. We're investigating that now. And so then you've got him here. And here's what's so insulting, Jimmy. We have Americans who are veterans living on the streets, homeless, et cetera, et cetera. You bring in these refugees. What do? We give them all housing, food allowances, clothes, cars, whatever they need. And they're still ungrateful. And they still don't think we've done enough when they turn on America. And this is what you had. Now, you had, interestingly enough, what you need to also be aware of on a global standpoint is we had 2 members of the Muslim Islamic jihadists, imams, across the globe, who have now said that all Islamic Muslim jihadists in America need to come out of the sleeper cells and begin immediate attacks on American soil. So we expect this to be the first tip of the iceberg. We expect there to be more to come. But here's where it's going to have to change, Jimmy. We can no longer just be putting our soldiers as assets to help with law enforcement. You remember, they're not doing the law enforcement themselves. They're just serving to kind of protect law enforcement and thinking we're in America. We're just kind of like walking down the street, having a little stroll in the park. No, we're in a battlefield zone now here in America. We are in a major engagement, and we need to operate as such. We need to make sure not only do all of our guardsmen have the necessary vests and protection. But we change our tactics a little bit. We're going to have to get aggressive. The president is doing that now as we speak. We're implementing programs now. We're freezing all incoming immigrants, especially those from Muslim countries. And we're going to go back in now for those who came from one program the President Biden set up for Somalia and President Obama, or whether it was this particular program for amnesty for Afghans and assets. We're going to go in and check and vet every one of them. I think what you're going to find, especially when you deal with the Obama issue on the Somalians, is that a lot of those came in on 1HB visas that have long since expired. They've done nothing about it, and you're going to see an aggressive move by this government. Now, you think it was people were upset about deporting one or two people down the street. You hadn't seen anything yet. It's fixing to go on maximum steroids, and we're going to make America secure and safe once again.
You know, what's frustrating is we all thought of these open southern border that Joe Biden had let happen, said it was secure, but he's a lying sack of Joea. All these people are coming across the southern border. We thought maybe we knew some people on most wanted lists were actually escaped into our country, couldn't track them. But it turns out the first attack or the opening salvo is people that weren't people that were untrackable coming in under Joe Biden. They were people that were supposedly trackable, and Joe Biden said they had actually screened and vetted all these people. So if these sleeper cells are waking up, we still got to worry about some of these illegals that came across the border undetected.
You're right, and I do have some bad news for you, Jimmy. I had told you on your show previously that we had 120 identified sleeper cells, as you will recall. That number has changed. It's over 1,000 now in this country.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting. And I'm watching, again, I've been traveling a lot. Obviously, I'm on the other side of the globe right now. But it seems as if some of these Somalias, Afghanistans, like places like Dearborn, Michigan, they're filled with these people. And I don't think ICE has made a move there, but maybe it's time that ICE starts moving into some of these hot pockets of where some of these people that are known, they're chanting on the streets, revolution. They have protests on a regular basis. Maybe it's a certain time we start checking addresses and say who has overstayed their visa. And I know that the president has also, they have revoked the special refugee status, I believe, of the Somalians.
That is correct. That is correct. And there's more to come. And you're exactly right. Let me put this in a frame so all of our listeners understand. When you have people, whether they're in Dearborn, whether they're in Chicago, whether they're in New York, in the Muslim community who come out onto the streets dancing and celebrating, and not just dancing and celebrating the shooting of two guardsmen, but saying, death to America, revolution has come, they have no business being in this country. The president is now more determined than ever. We are going to gear up. He thinks, the leftist liberals will say, oh, it was because you had the National Guard. Eliminate the program immediately. That should have never happened. Folks, let's be realistic. We're going to probably triple that program overnight. There's going to be Guard troops sitting into every city we think is vulnerable, and we're going to make a concerted effort to go in just what you said, because we've already gotten the request early this morning from residents in Dearborn, Michigan, saying, look, can you come here and just check the visa status, because you've got 100,000 of them there. And probably my estimate is probably 95% of them are there on expired visas that need to be deported immediately.
Yeah, we might want to check our member of Congress in there, see if her visa expired. I'm just throwing that out.
She's one of them. She's one of them. Yeah. We're going to make sure that she gets a seat on the front of the plane so she can lead a chorus as they're leaving.
She can sing some Somalian song is what they can do. Michael, it's serious. We're kind of having fun here, but it's a serious problem. And hopefully America wakes up that when President Trump said we're going after the baddest and most dangerous, there's still a heck of a lot of them we got to get. And some of them are hanging out in Dearborn. Some of them, there was a bombing plan for Fort Worth, Texas. I mean, they're all over this country. We need to be praying, supporting, and helping ICE defend us, because these sleeper cells are active.
Well, it was what I call a tragic interview earlier this morning on national news when somebody made the comment to me, well, what do you think it's going to take to get the American people to realize the situation that we're in and action needs to be taken? I said, I hope and pray to God we don't have to have another 9/11 tenfold worse for people to finally wake up. That is where we're headed. Mark my words. We will have that if we don't take some action. So, folks, if you get a little ruffled, if you think, well, there's a little too many soldiers out today, or a little this or that, remember one thing. It's your freedom, it's your safety, it's your security, it's your children and your grandchildren that are at stake. So please support us. Don't criticize. Get in there and help make this difference. Secure our freedoms for your children and your grandchildren for generations to come.
InvestUSA.org is your organization that you represent so well, and you found it because of your vision. There's a lot of people on the beats out there, federal and state and local law enforcement that have protective gear. I want you to give this is an important time because we're going to have to activate these men and women in law enforcement more than ever before to keep people safe and to make sure our freedoms are not threatened anymore by these terrorists that have come into this country legally and illegally. Invest USA, what does it cost to put the protective gear on a law enforcement officer? Obviously, if they don't have the whole amount, they can give part of it. Tell people how they can get involved in Invest USA.
Well, we get them at a special discounted rate because we get so many. $700 a piece is what we get for active shooter vests. Let me throw this out, Jimmy. Most people are going to be shocked by what I'm saying. National Guard members are not issued these vests unless they're going into combat situations. Well, we've never envisioned that protecting the streets of D.C. or Chicago, New York is a combat zone. And so they're not issued to them now. We're going to make sure that they get protected because, quite frankly, I don't want to see any more guardsmen come die needlessly.
I don't want to speculate. I don't know the entire situation, but you think if this protective gear, active shooter vest had been available for these two guardsmen that have been shot, would the results have been a little bit different? I'm not speculating. Maybe you know more than I do, but it's a point well taken.
It would have been a difference. And quite frankly, this is one of the things we were stressing with the Guard today. You have to change the mindset. We're going to be proactive now. We are acting as if we were in a combat zone, and we patrol much differently there than we do as if we're walking a stroll in the park with the kids on a Sunday afternoon. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So let's make sure, especially during this holiday season, we don't lose any more than we've already lost. Please make sure you go and show that you support our first responders and our guardsmen. And if you make a donation for that vest, anything is even if it's $1, we want them to know that hundreds of millions of Americans are going to stand toe-to-toe with them and make sure this country is secure once again.
I know everybody tries to give something in the holiday season. I try to have talk about you, my friend Laura Carno, Faster Colorado. Of course, my organization works overseas, but find one of these. And if you can give something to Michael today, $25, $100, $250, $700 for the entire active shooting gear, go to investusa.org. It's right there on your screen, Invest USA. Again, there is a guardswoman that is not going to be with her family for Christmas because a terrorist took her out on the streets, and we don't want any more of that to happen. So if you can make a donation, make sure that other guardsmen and women get home safe for Christmas. InvestUSA.org. Make a donation. Any amount counts. Most charities will feel the same way. Any amount counts. Sometimes you go, well, I'm not a big donor. Be a small donor, and that's fantastic. And InvestUSA.org. Michael, we're out of time. I got to get you back on this week or next to talk about this great story that broke while I was away. And the story is that Pam Bondi says, why are we putting restrictions on concealed carry? That's not constitutional. And I said, amen, praise the Lord. Let me read that again. So we gotta hit on that topip sometime soon.
We definitely do. There's a lot to talk about. Look forward to talking to you again soon, Jimmy.
Michael, appreciate you, my friend. God bless you, and you be safe there in America. I'm in Rwanda. Ladies and gentlemen, when's the last time you knew a talk show host that signed on from Rwanda? By the way, thousands of earballs will hear this show throughout the day. Don't forget, as soon as the live stream goes off, it'll be loaded up on all the podcast platforms. Thousands of earballs listen to this show every day, and we appreciate you being a part of the Lakey Unleashed streamcast, podcast, broadcast. We do it all sorts of ways, and we appreciate you being a part of it. And again, make a donation today. InvestUSA.org. If it's $1, give $1. If it's $2, give $2. $5, give $5. And again, I know I'm in Rwanda. You're expecting me to be pushing my charity work here. Now, there's a lot of causes that may get your attention, and I want to bring attention to all of them. InvestUSA.org. $700 for the kit and caboodle, but if you can give $7, that's 1% of it. You give $70, that's 10% of it. You get the idea. InvestUSA.org, and think of that. There could have been a lady's life had been spared on the streets with these terrorists had she had an active shooter vest. So that's potentially definitely life-saving equipment, life-saving opportunity. InvestUSA.org. All right, I want to remind you, a great sponsor of the show, Sherry Creek, homeswithsherry.com. holiday season. A lot of folks are not necessarily thinking about buying or selling a home, real estate transaction. But if you're listening to us, watching us, hearing us in Colorado, Sherry's the one you want to talk to. You want to have a conversation. You know, I know you're busy the holiday season, but you're thinking, hey, January, February, March, I'll kind of get onto it then. Maybe you're trying to move by next summer, you know, get the kids to a year of school. That's fine. You need to have that strategy session with Sherry. It's not going to cost you anything, but it could make you a lot of money in the transaction of real estate. Homeswithsherry.com. Our good friend Sherry Cree, homeswithsherry.com. By the way, I come to Rwanda. I'm at the school today, Legacy Christian Academy they were building, and her husband were actually there for the ribbon cutting a couple of years ago, as was producer Chad, as was obnoxious Scott there in the chat room. There's several of people that came over here for the ribbon cutting of our first phase of Legacy Christian Academy. Sherry was there celebrating with us. She's a great supporter of Rivers Promise as well. Listen, again, real estate transactions in Colorado, from let's say Wellington to Denver to Boulder to Fort Collins, you get that I-25 corridor. You got to talk to Sherry and start that strategy session. I know you may not want to stick a sign in your yard tomorrow, but start planning ahead, and she can kind of give you that checklist, give you the framework you need to know. Great sponsor of the show, homeswithsherry.com. Colorado, pay attention, homeswithsherry.com. And again, don't wait till the last minute. Plan ahead with Sherry, have that strategy session, and you got to interview real estate agents. Don't go with just everybody. Just because your next door neighbor is a real estate agent or your Aunt Bertha's an agent doesn't mean they're going to get you the best deal. Talk to Sherry, let her be in the mix, and let her earn your business as well. Homeswithsherry.com. All right. Everybody's good. I can't believe we actually got this show on the air. I was literally out from where I'm at, it's about 2 hours to Legacy Christian Academy, our school in Rwanda. And I changed hotels. I'm trying out this brand new hotel because I bring a lot of guests here. And where it's brand new, just opened it. I want to check it out. It's going to become part of the Hilton chain here soon. And I like getting frequent flyer points. I've been staying at the Marriott properties in town. So anyway, that being said, I changed up hotels, slid in here after being at the school. The hat, you can still see the sweat stains from working today. I probably smell like a guy was working at a school in a third world country right now. Fortunately, I'm in the room by myself. Tomorrow, we'll try to find a cooler place to broadcast from, but I literally slid my butt in the chair, connected, and prayed to God the internet worked so we could connect. So producer Chad's holding it together, and he's got the hamsters running to keep everything going, but here we are. All right, good to have all of you here. Jimmy Lakey is my name. If you want to communicate with us, you're listening, one of the thousands of people listening later in the day, don't forget, go to info@jimmylakey.com. That's our email, info@jimmylakey.com. You want to be a partner, a sponsor of the show, you want to ask a question about the show, anything you want to talk about, info@jimmylakey.com. All right, so if I look sweaty and tired, and I don't have Delilah in the studio with me, we don't let Delilah travel. She's caged up somewhere in America. Delilah would probably tell me I look like hell right now because I'm looking at myself. I'm sweaty. I'm tired. My hat is stained, but that's okay. We're doing the show anyway. All right, good to have all of you here on the show. Let me bring in my next guest. We've not met this guest before, brand new guest. Michael Lutz, of course, is an old friend, but Gloria Giorno is not an old friend, but I believe she's going to be a new friend of the program. She's the founder of the Reagan Society, and she's the author of Outcast, How the Radical Left Tried to Destroy a Young Conservative. You can go to Outcast, OUTCAST book.com, outcastbook.com. And I want to talk about the book, her story, the Reagan Society, but also I'm being told by a little bird that Gloria is also in Tennessee. And some of you have been hearing you at the special election in District 7 of Tennessee for Congress. We'll get her take on that. Please welcome, first time on the program, Gloria Giorno on the show. Gloria, good morning.
Good morning, Jimmy. How are you?
Well, I'm in Africa and I'm sweaty and I'm tired, but hey, I get to make a new friend here, so welcome in. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
Well, I want to talk about the Tennessee race, but obviously you have written a book, and the subtitle of the book alone catches my great attention, How the Radical Left Tried to Destroy a Young Conservative. The headline of the book is called Outcast. People can find it at outcastbook.com. Gloria, tell me about the book, How the Radical Left Tried to Destroy a Young Conservative.
Well, that young conservative was my youngest son, who was student body president at Belmont University. Yes, a Christian university in Tennessee. And he was student body president. On the 4th of July, he put up a post on his public Instagram page thanking our forefathers for our freedoms, which is what you and I believe in on the 4th of July. Unfortunately, that was met with 300 comments, mostly negative, telling our son that he was a racist, that he should kill himself, and that he was a horrible person for supporting his country. The next day, we had a change.org petition asking for him to be removed as student body president of the university. Of course, being in Tennessee, one-party consent, my son was getting a lot of threats, whatnot. We recorded everything. He ended up being escorted by a police officer on campus, and I took all the recordings, I took all the videos, and I wrote a book on it. Met with President Trump, and he and Stevie are on the cover of the book. So pretty much the university sided with the left. They did not take our son's side. The university endorsed BLM. Our son is the only one on that campus who did not. We will never endorse an anti-Christian Marxist organization destroying, looting, and killing our police officers. We are Gold Star family members. Our cousin was killed in the line of duty in Chicago in 1995. So our son was the only one who took on the left, all of them, from administrators on down.
Wow. And you said it's Belmont University, and they haven't backed down. They haven't apologized. The book is out. The publicity is coming their way, and they're still hell bent on their actions.
Nothing's changed. I mean, this was 5 years ago, and nothing's changed at Belmont, nor has anything changed at any university. I mean, Charlie Kirk, I'm originally from Illinois. Charlie Kirk, a neighbor of ours, was killed, and nothing's changed. So it's just sad. It's gotten sadder and sadder.
Your book is telling a story that people have suspected what's happening on university campuses. You know, some people go, well, I went to Belmont. It wasn't that bad back then. Or I went to this school. It wasn't that bad back then. You're exposing and bringing to light what has been kind of happening under the radar. Is that that's our only hope here, is for people to recognize what's happening on these university campuses, and they can be, quote, Christian universities, and they can still be happening. Exposure is the best way to do it, put light on it.
I went to Loyola University in Chicago, and yes, I mean, okay, it was 1984, and it's a private Jesuit Catholic university. From what I hear now, it's very woke. Back in the day when I was there, it wasn't. And you could talk about politics and you could have an interaction with another student who may not agree with you. However, we did not have the fighting and the bullying and the threats to kill like we do now. And so something has gone wrong, terribly wrong in our country. And it is starting with the indoctrination in our school system. We have teachers who are not teaching. They're telling our children what they need to believe in because it's what the teachers want. Well, one of these days when AI replaces all these teachers, it's going to be the government that is feeding our robot teachers what they're going to be telling our children in the classroom. And unfortunately, that's going to be even worse for us if we do not keep the Republican platform, the conservative platform going.
The name of the book is called Outcast: How the Radical Left Tried to Destroy a Young Conservative. You can learn more at outcastbook.com. My guest, if you're listening, you don't see it on the screen because you don't have the video. Later in the day, thousands of people listen to the show. Gloria Giorno, Giorno, founder of Reagan Society, and Outcast is the name of the book, outcastbook.com. Gloria, I guess I'd come back. You talked about when you were at Loyola, people on the other side had different viewpoints, and you could agree to disagree, but you could have a discourse and you could have an exchange of ideas. It's not just the professors. It seems to be the entire American left, let's just call it as it is, the Democratic Party has become the party of hatred, bigotry, intolerance. They're the ones that want to kill people like Charlie Kirk. And I hate to break the news to anybody, but it is the party. And they used to say, well, there's some reasonable Democrats. I'm trying to find some of them because they seem to be few and far between for me.
I don't know that they exist anymore. But yes, having I grew up in communist Yugoslavia. I was born in a suburb of Chicago, but I did grow up in communist Yugoslavia, former communist Yugoslavia, and I went to school there through second grade. And it's interesting to me that when I see what my son went through, when you read the book, that is communism at the university. And you and I are living, when we lived through the Biden regime, that was communism, a little taste of it. And my heart breaks for New York City and the people who are not communists. But unfortunately, they do have a communist mayor coming in next month. And we're all going to have a front row seat to see what happens in New York City.
I saw a meme the other day, and I think I have it. We'll show it probably tomorrow. I think I saved it for producer Chad, but it's a meme of President Trump saying we're going to get rid of corrupt and overbloated government organizations, and they have these protesters on the street screaming, "No kings!" And then you have Mamdani. We're going to control every aspect of your life, including run the grocery stores. And the same protesters going, "That's great." Isn't that interesting? The one that's trying to get the government out of our lives and let people live the lives of freedom and freedom of choice and freedom of decision, that guy's called the king. They protest him for no kings, but the guy who actually says, "I'm coming with communism, I'm coming with Marxism, I'm coming with all these things," he's welcomed with open arms. Something's just not right in this scenario.
No, it's not right, but it's unfortunate. But it's been like 30 or 40 years that our universities have been trying to indoctrinate all of us. And it's very unfortunate that we didn't see it back then, but COVID exposed that when kids started staying home from school. COVID exposed that to parents. And I think that was an eye-opening experience. Now, when I lived in Yugoslavia, I grew up knowing that the police that were on the corner that I saw on my way to school every day weren't there to protect me, just like what you said. They were there to protect the communist regime and to silence anyone who spoke out against it. And as a first grader, I carried $1,000 in my backpack. This is 1972. That's a lot of money back then. So that I could get out of Yugoslavia at the age of 6 and get to Italy in a cab in case of a civil war. Because in a communist country, you know to prepare for that. And I don't think New York City should prepare for anything less. I mean, there is going to be uprising. There are going to be unfortunately, they're in for a world they've never seen before. And it is very unsafe. It's very and Homeland Security. And yes, God bless those officers who died, National Guard. I mean, that should never have happened. I mean, it's just in America, it is so hard to believe because I don't think anyone understands. Most people, you and I understand, conservatives understand, but if America falls, there's nowhere to go. There is nowhere better than this country. My dad came here in 1956. He was a proud American. He waited 2 years in a camp in Yugoslavia to come here. He came here for 57 years. He called himself an American, and he was a patriot. I still have the flag here on my desk that my dad was sworn in with when he became an American citizen. We are proud Americans. Hence, our son stood up to the radical left. And yes, our son did graduate, but that's a whole different story in the book too. Yeah. It's amazing to me that we cannot get Americans to understand that President Trump is doing the right thing. But I blame the school system. All these years, I blame the school systems. And we as parents have let it happen. We need to speak out. More of us need to do what you're doing every day.
I'm telling you, I kind of think of all these. I'm in Rwanda. Obviously, my son's adopted from Rwanda, so I made a promise to him, and I'm broadcasting to there now, building a school called Legacy Christian Academy, et cetera, et cetera. I can't tell you how many times I've had kids walk up, even kids that knew my son when they were little, and they're like, "Papa, will you take me to America too?" I go to my school right now. A lot of these kids have never seen an airplane. Most of them have never ridden a car. It's a remote area. Our school has flushing toilets and electricity, which they'd never seen before. Some of them were afraid to use the flushing toilet because they'd never seen such. Every one of them says, "How many want to go to America with Papa?" They all raise their hand. Kindergartners, fifth graders, sixth graders. I want to go to America. And you have these jackwagons like Elon Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez pretending as this is some godforsaken country. Well, it's amazing that none of the third world people that are coming here or saying death to America from Somalia or wherever, why are they coming to our country if it's such a hellhole? These kids here in purity know that we live in the greatest country that God's ever blessed the earth with, and we've got to preserve it, got to fight for it. Exposing the left and their tactics is a great way to do that. The name of your book is called Outcast, and again, the subtitle, How the Radical Left Tried to Destroy a Young Conservative. It's written by Gloria Giorno. It's the story of her son at the Christian Belmont University and how they tried to destroy her son and his academic career. It almost tried to cost him his academic career. And again, get the book. It's at outcastbook.com, outcastbook.com. One more quick question for you, Gloria. live from Tennessee you are. There's been this talk about the special election in District 7 for Congress. They're making the media sometimes hypes things up that a Democrat could win that seat and it would be a referendum in Tennessee on Donald Trump. Is this Democrat lady going to win this special election in District 7? Give me your take from Tennessee.
No, she's definitely not going to win this election because President Trump took the 7th congressional district by 22 points. Mark Green, former congressman, also took it by 20 plus points. No, she is not going to win. Democrats have a lovely way of messaging and branding, and they want us to buy into it. And we're not going to. And I do not live in the 7th district. I live right next to it, but I did live in the 7th district before. However, people need to understand Matt Van Epps is a veteran. He is an amazing America First patriot who is supported by President Trump. And he is what Tennessee wants. He is what the country needs. So no, this Democrat is a woman who she's pro-BLM. This woman is pro-abortion. This woman has no idea what she's talking about. She even hates the city itself. She hates it. She has no business being here. And no, she is not going to win.
Yeah. I find it amazing that last election a couple of weeks ago, a Democrat won New Jersey, New York, and it was a referendum on Trump. I'm like, listen, that was a blue state, a blue city doing what a blue city does. And I think even Fox News gets hubbed up in this thing of it's all about eyeballs and clicks, and we'll make it sound like there's some big thing. But from what I know from friends in Nashville, used to be in the music industry a little bit myself, District 7 is safe as long as everybody shows up and does their duty and they vote.
As long as they show up. We need, if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican and you're hearing us today, go vote tomorrow, 7 to 7. Matt's a friend of mine. Go vote. Just show up and vote. It's one vote. That's all you have to cast. It's not going to take a lot of time. Just show up and vote. But yes, we will win tomorrow.
Gloria Giorno, and again, go check out the book. It's called Outcast, How the Radical Left Tried to Destroy a Young Conservative. It's a story that she's writing with the receipts, if you will, about her son at Belmont University. The website is outcastbook.com, outcastbook.com. Gloria, I appreciate you hopping on the show here today. Thank you very much. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks so much.
Gloria Giorno. All right, Lakey's here. Jimmy's here. I'm on the it's almost 6 o'clock in the evening here. I am in Rwanda. I'll play some more video from my day here. We'll wrap up the show with that in just a moment. But I want to come back on the theme we've been on is that since I've been traveling and I'm in Rwanda because of our charity, you see it on my hat, riverspromise.org. It's when I started. See the sweat stains. I literally just came in and I literally just barely made the show on time. But you can see Rivers Promise on the thing. Go to the website, riverspromise.org, and help us give hope to children through education. And I appreciate that. And if you want to know the story about Rivers Promise, go to my website, riverspromise.org. It tells the story of adopting my son. And it all started this whole thing that's taken off and become kind of a big deal in Rwanda and for a lot of kids. Riverspromise.org. Check it out. The story's there. Film is there. Video's there. Documentary done by producer Chad. Take about 20 minutes of your time to watch that, but go and it has the ribbon cutting. You'll probably see Sherry Cree in that. It's a great video. It's riverspromise.org. All right, let me come back to the theme. I'm running a little bit late, about 5 minutes behind schedule, but hey, I'm just glad to have made the show. Our friend, the terrorist therapist, Dr. Carol Lieberman, America's psychiatrist, is on the hotline with us. She's right there in the studio. Dr. Carol, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm glad you made it back. And that sounds like an amazing school that you made.
Well, I am there, and I'm here the rest of the week. So I just literally bounced into this new hotel room. I changed hotels, and so yeah, I made it. I'm sweaty though. I think I might smell. I honestly, I
can't smell you from California.
Yeah, scratch and sniff on the screen, see what you get there. All right, Dr. Lieberman, you kind of have been on the thought of terrorism in America since 9/11. You've become known as a terrorist therapist podcast out there talking about the threat to American security. We saw terrorists destroy a life and injure another person, National Guard, Afghanis that had been brought in here, allowed in here by Joe Biden. They weren't really screened at all. Give me your thoughts on what we're watching and how much danger do you see in the future?
Well, every 9/11 anniversary, I warn people that we are more in danger now than we ever were. And one of the reasons why we're more in danger is because of the 80,000 Afghans that President Biden brought in after the horrendous surrender in Afghanistan. And of course, our friend here, Ramanullah Lakwanwal, like the guy who shot the 2 guardsmen in Washington, D.C., he is one of them. Now, what's interesting is that friends, people, neighbors and friends have come forward, and there has been some emails that have been exposed where they tried to contact some refugee company, it's all very vague, to let them know that he has psychological problems. They said that he's manic depressive. And the thing is, and that's why they're trying to say that, well, that's why they were contacting this refugee organization to try to get help for him. They said he wasn't functioning as a father, as a husband. He lost his job because he couldn't function on the job. Now that all may well be true. But it's very interesting in a lot of cases, more in Europe, because there are more terrorists that are caught in Europe. But they try to say that they try to get off on insanity. Like try to say that this wasn't a terror attack. The terrorists try to say, and their attorneys try to say that this wasn't a terror attack. He's just crazy. Now, the thing is that you can have both. You can be both. You can be a terrorist, a jihadist, and also have bipolar disorder or some other mental illness. So it's not an excuse. I mean, that is not why this man did this. I mean, if he was just mentally ill, it's possible that sometimes people who are mentally ill hear voices that tell them to kill people and so on. But he didn't have to travel to Washington and kill guardsmen to do that. He could have killed people, in his state of Washington, just walk down the street and kill people. So there is a jihadist element to this. It is not just that he's mentally ill.
The voice of Dr. Carol Lieberman, America's psychiatrist, talking about the threat that, as you've said, since 9/11, we are more in danger than we were on 9/11 over 20 years ago. Unpack that just a little bit. I want to bring up Thomas Crooks, the guy that tried to assassinate President Trump with you. I haven't talked to you about that, but I want to unpack that. People say, how do you know that we're less safe than we were?
Yes, I was just thinking I need to make a list. Well, I mentioned the Afghans, and there are 80,000 of them. I mean, sometimes some papers say, some media outlets say 70,000, whatever. Let's not argue about even 70,000. 70,000 people spread throughout America who are basically jihadists, just waiting for the dog whistle to attack. And then we have, well, I might as well, the most obvious now, of course, is Mamdani. I mean, I heard your last guest and you talking about that. I mean, New York, where I'm from originally, is going to be in very bad shape very soon. If you look at who is on his team, who he's pulling in to be on his team, they're all either jihadists or communists. It's the Democratic Socialists of America, but he's gathering a whole group. So it's not just him. People don't have to just be concerned about him. And then, of course, there are people who have crossed the border, the North and the South, and who are also in these camps spread out around America. And also there are these, Texas, however, took some action against them, but they are, because they are building the mosques with houses or apartments around the mosques. I mean, they are encampments basically of terrorists. And there are some in Florida, of all states, and Texas. It's so interesting that they pick the two most Republican states to build their mosques. I mean, what are they thinking? Well, they want to destroy Republicans the most, I guess. But they obviously aren't thinking that we're going to be doing anything about it. Noticing and taking some kind of action. But anyhow, it's not just, and of course, then we have Minnesota, Michigan. I mean, there are little places all over America that have more and more radical Islamists who have congregated, and they are very dangerous and they feel very empowered because when they're in these congregations, blowing the call to prayer 5 times a day, doing all of these kinds of things. So we're really on more of a precipice today. I mean, each year it gets worse and worse.
The voice of Dr. Carol Lieberman, again, American psychiatrist, and she also has a podcast called The Terrorist Therapist. You can look that up. Dr. Carol, I haven't got to talk to you about this, and I want to hit it real quick before we depart and go our different ways. We were told right after the first assassination attempt of President Trump that this Thomas Crooks guy had no real media footprint. They couldn't find any definite ideology. Christopher Wray, the former director of the FBI, testified that under oath. Now we find out the last week or so that this guy was into some pretty crazy stuff. He was another they-them type guy. He had some interest in the furry fantasies, as did the shooter of Charlie Kirk. What are we watching here in America that maybe they say he had no social media presence, but doggone it, the social media presence he had showed that he was a weirdo.
Yes. And a weirdo who had gone from being a Trump supporter, an ardent Trump supporter, to changing around the time that COVID was happening. And so I guess that's the time that he had more of an opportunity to go into the dark web. But it's, yes, what's interesting is that Tucker Carlson, someone contacted Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson has put up, and I've watched it, I'm sure you probably have too, the 30-minute video about Thomas Crooks, all the things that he was into on the internet, and showing him shooting a gun and all of that. I'm not a fan anymore of Tucker Carlson because of all his anti-Semitic views that he's promulgating. I mean, just like he's on rooftops, blaring these things. So I didn't want to believe that he was bringing anything useful to our attention, but or he was actually just giving a space for the person who contacted him to bring something useful. That video, which I posted on Twitter, and I think I reposted his video, his post or something, but that is worth watching because it really does show some of these bizarre. Now, why? Okay, the question I think you're asking is, why do people who are so into furry end up trying to assassinate people, and sometimes succeeding? Well, part of it is because if you're into, if you want to believe that you're an animal, then first of all, you have no sense of self. You have no self-identity. And also, I noticed with I'm trying to remember, at least with the man who Tyler, the man who shot Kirk, he watched, and I, there might well be with Thomas Crooks too. There's a lot of sexual stuff, a lot of porn, and they sort of get away with it because it's porn amongst animals, so-called, people dressed as animals. And with the man who shot Charlie Kirk, he was particularly into this one person who posts things on furry sites or on the dark web that had to do. There was one story that had to do with a man who used a date rape drug. He gave it to a little animal. I don't remember what it was, a squirrel or something. They were all squirrel. They were all animals, and he gave it to this little animal so he could date rape him. He could, and so it seems to me that maybe there is some, in addition to having a lack of self-identity, they may well have also been sexually abused as children, and the way that they can. Just like oftentimes people who are sexually abused as children are obsessed with regular pornography because they're trying to sort of somehow flood themselves with that so that they don't feel bad about it. And so another way of doing it, even distancing yourself even more, is through the animals. Anyhow, basically, the bottom line is it just shows that they were very psychologically disturbed. And instead of watching these videos, they should have been in a therapist's office getting therapy. And there's something very disturbing about Thomas Crook, about the fact that we don't know more about Thomas Crook. Why did it have to come through some guy who told Tucker Carlson, who then put it on the air? Why didn't the FBI or the CIA or Homeland Security, why didn't any of them find this out? Why is it some random guy who likes to go, troll the internet or dig deep into these kinds of things? And the fact that he was cremated right away, the fact that we've never heard from his parents, except for his father once or twice when he got accosted at his door. There needs to be a question as to why Kash Patel and all these other people haven't told us more about his backstory.
Yeah. And at the very least, I agree that there's a lot of cover up here going on, and we're not sure exactly. There's a deep state out there, I think, hiding some stuff. But at the very least, these people are into some very weird stuff. And as a society, we've kind of normalized it and said, oh, that's just kind of cute, alternative stuff. It's mental illness. And instead of seeking help in the therapist office, their minds are still mentally ill, and they come up with assassination schemes. At the very least, the normalization of this kind of crap is a problem.
Yes. And these are people who have psychological problems, who are very vulnerable to other people who might want them to do things like assassinate Trump.
Wow. The terroristtherapist.com, I think, on the topic today. Is that the best website to catch up on all things Dr. Carol Lieberman?
Sure. And also on Twitter, Dr. Carol MD, Carol with an E at the end. Yes.
Dr. Carol MD. Carol, I appreciate you coming on the program. Doctor, give us a call anytime. We always love to have you on the program. Thank you for hopping on. And again, thousands of earballs. If you're listening later in the show, you'll hear this show. It's terroristtherapist.com. Dr. Carol with an E, MD on the Twitter. Find her out there. We appreciate her hopping on the program today. Dr. Carol, thank you so much. I look forward to the next conversation. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said, I am in Rwanda doing the work for Rivers Promise. You can see it on the hat, riverspromise.org. If you're late to the show, you do know that, the problem with the show is that I barely made it in on time. Now you can actually see I'm in a hotel. The outside has darkened up, and now the reflections coming off of this, off the hotel bed. I literally have not even touched anything. It's just like, it's boom. I walked in, turned on the air conditioning and hooked up to do the show once I logged into the internet here. Tomorrow, I'll try to find a more exciting background. But from Rwanda, I want to say thank you for everybody. You guys have been fantastic. I told producer Chad, I said, honestly, it's a pain in the butt to do the show today. I'm tired. But there's so many of you that have invested and sent money for Rivers Promise. And I wanted to at least check in with you, and we'll do the show as best as possible this week. Could be some technical glitches here and there, but we're back on tomorrow. I want to come back and show this video before we do the meme roulette portion of the show. And this was today. I have not edited this. This is just raw video. I got to our school, Legacy Christian Academy, and the kids were ready to sing. And this was the children singing to us, and it's Legacy Christian Academy. I get to talk to them, and one of Israel, the photographer, is with us. He says, you preached a sermon to them. I said, I don't know about that, but it was fun times. Kindergarten through fifth graders looking at the teachers, and you get to encourage them and let them know that their sponsors care for them. So thank to all of you that before I left, you donated for the Christmas gifts. Some of you sponsored children before I left. A lot of you do sponsor kids. I know Scott sponsors 3 or 4 kids out there. I know Stacy sponsored. I'm going to miss somebody, so I don't want to screw it up. Just trying to go top of mind. But let me play the video. And it is a Christian school, and we're top of the district. We really have kicked butt and taken names as a private school. No child pays to go to our school. If they're not sponsored, we pay for them out of the general fund. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, budget is tight. The food cost of just feeding these kids is very expensive. And food costs have gone up. As you know, inflation, your food costs have gone up as well. So anytime you donate, we talk about the Christmas program, but when you donate to Rivers Promise, we would love to have you participate. And the general fund goes to help kids that are, you're going to see a lot of these kids are not sponsored, but they still go to our school. And your generosity helps us keep them in school. The philosophy of Rivers Promise, we'll get to meme roulette in a second. But yeah, Scott says he sponsors 4 kids. I see that, Scott. Thank you very much. We built the school. These kids would not go to school. They would have no hope for a brighter tomorrow. Now they have hope, and we're giving hope. And it's not just hope of education, but we're introducing them to the Christian message, etc. So let me play a video. This is them greeting me today, and I think you'll enjoy it. Making melody in my heart. For the King of Kings. There's a Rwandan flag. Beautiful, see? That's a 4th grader there. Anyway, I'll play more of that throughout the week. I got more video stuff. I just threw that up, literally sliding into the chair, slapped it up there, and wasn't even sure what I had. But if you'd like to donate, I promise you what you give today to Rivers Promise for the Christmas gifts, to sponsor a kid, just a general donation. We'll make sure that he gets there and close up our year very strong. We're going to go shopping here this week and do some Christmas shopping. Scott has been to Phase 1. He's probably... You see a photo of him probably in the documentary. I don't know. It's at Rivers Promise. He and his wife Candace were there. Phase 1's incredible. It's a beautiful school. People are amazed at this building that we built, and we're about to build more. And if you are interested in building funds, we've got $300,000+ of matching funds sitting on the table that we're about to try to tap into. So feel free. As you can tell, I'm going to get tired. It's been a long day. I've been up for a long time. It's 6:09 p.m. here. And I appreciate it. Go to riverspromise.org, riverspromise.com to donate. We appreciate you doing that, Rivers Promise. Donate. I will see it. I will make sure I'm aware of it. And tomorrow maybe we'll get us some shout outs, but I'll get some more video and more photos of the kids at Legacy Christian Academy. Yes, I will. Riverspromise.org, riverspromise.com. All right. Let's do the meme roulette. I'd hate to, for you, after all this time, I'd hate for you to miss that. I don't have my globe with me. So let's just do it. Everybody say it with me. Round and round the globe we go. Where we steal the memes from, no one knows. Here we go. Back to politics. A reminder from Democrat women to get your prostate exam. All you Democrat women, you might want to get that exam done. All of you Dem women, feel free. Round and round the globe we go. Where we steal the memes from, no one knows. Take the damned vax. That is a direct order. Anyone who fails to follow this order shall be kicked out of the military. And here's old Jason Crow, the jackass that he is, and Mark Kelly, the fake hero that he pretends to be. I know he served his country greatly, but he's destroyed his reputation and his legacy because he says it's okay to disobey an illegal order. Well, what was that COVID crap you guys were pushing? Oh, that was an illegal order. Jason Crow, you have defamed yourself, and your legacy will forever be a guy who is constitutionally against the chain of command. Mark Kelly and all of you disgusting jackwagons in American politics, all of you have defamed the Constitution by this encouragement of going against the chain of command. Yeah, you sure weren't willing to go against the chain of command when it came to your blessed COVID vaccine, because all of you are on the dole of Pfizer and the big pharmaceutical companies, and that's where you get your money and your power. And you didn't want to buck the industrial, the pharmaceutical industrial complex. Shame on you, Jason Crow. Shame on you, Mark Kelly, and shame on all of you disgusting, seditious sicks. You're disgusting Americans, and you do deserve to be resigned and kicked out of office for what you did there in your seditious post there. Round and round the globe, on a more pleasant note, round and round the globe we go. Where we steal the memes from, no one knows. If removing all guns saves just one life, it's worth it. And so the response is, well, then, if deporting all illegals just saves one life, wouldn't that be worth it? I know it's hard for a liberal to think logically, but sometimes we try to prod them along here by illustrating the absurdity of their argument. That's what this is all about. Sometimes you do it with humor, sometimes you do it with memes. Illustrate the stupidity and the absurdity of today's American left. Round and round the globe we go, where we steal the memes from no one knows. Let's see what's up next. Little boy, mama talking. When I'm a man, I want to be a Democrat. Well, you'll have to decide. You can't be both. Let me think that through. When I'm a man, I'm tired. When I'm a man, I want to be a Democrat. Oh yeah, you can't be a man and be a Democrat. Any of you guys out there that are claiming to be men and Democrats? It's iffy. Coin toss. Round about. I don't know. I'm tired. Round around the globe we go. My eyes are suddenly fuzzy. Round around the globe we go. Where you steal the news from no one knows. Okay, there's a patronizing Lakey. There's Dak Prescott holding up the sign. How about them Cowboys? And there's old Patty Mahomes looking in the window. You know, I didn't even get to see the game. I was stranded in Brussels. But it's a sacrifice I make for the children. But yeah, how about them Cowboys? Yeah, that's it. I don't mind Patty Mahomes. I mean, you know, the Chiefs went downhill whenever that one cat started dating that singer girl that we might have heard of, Taylor something. Yeah, all of a sudden they've gone to hell in a handbasket. Distraction. You got to keep your eye on the game. Travis, that is his name. Travis. Is it Travis or Jason? I get those Kelsey brothers all mixed up. They all look alike to me. Round and round the globe we go, where we steal the memes from no one knows. This came from Linda, one of our listeners, Linda. And I'm just going to read it. And if you spew coffee, don't blame me. It's the Cleaver family. And there's Tony Dow, Jerry Mathers, Barbara Billingsley, Hugh Beaumont, and Jerry Mathers as the Beaver. And I'm just going to let it sink in. If you're spewing coffee, it's Hugh saying, "That's not what I meant, June." If you're listening on it, you're going to have to go back and watch it. If you listen to audio podcasts, this is. Linda said she hated to bring up Leave It to Beaver on the show because she knows how much I love the show. But I spewed coffee, or what I was drinking that night, when she sent it to me. Yeah, that's not what I meant, June. That's not it at all. And poor Beaver's got a bad haircut. I'll just leave it at that. Leave it at that. Round and round the globe we go, where we steal the memes from no one knows. I think we're out. I don't hear the globe from China, but I'm having Ray says that's just wrong. I didn't do it. Linda sent it. I sent it to producer Chad, and producer Chad just made a choice, and he made a poor choice, but a funny choice. Mind like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am in Rwanda. No joke. And basically sat down in my hotel room and did a show. And I hadn't even unpacked my bag here because I've changed hotels today. If you want to go to the charity website, check it out, riverspromise.org, riverspromise.com. Those kids that you see could use your help, and we're giving them the help. And we're grateful to be able to be used in the Lord's work, and we appreciate all of you who do that. Make a donation today, riverspromise.org, riverspromise.com. I don't come here just for my health. I love this place, but I come here to help kids, and made a promise to my son, and I'm trying to keep that promise to the best of my ability. And with your help, it makes it easier to keep the promise. All right, let's wrap this puppy up. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll see what the background is tomorrow. We'll have a little bit more time, hopefully in preparation for the background to be something more than it is a cool hotel room, but who wants this? Like people who are going to do a Fox News hit with the kitchen appliances in the background. It's kind of weird, but it's the best angle I could get. I turned it this way, and now the reflection is in the patio window. God bless you from Rwanda. I am Jimmy Lakey, riverspromise.org. God bless you. God bless America. I am Jimmy Lakey. Happy Monday, America, from Africa. Peace. I'm out of here.